Hey everybody, I'm Sierra.
I'm Ben.
And welcome back to another episode of The Unsolved Couple, where every week Ben and I recap one of your original gateway drugs into true crime.
Unsolved mysteries.
Welcome back to the table, Ben.
I'm back.
You guys, the look on Ben's face right now, hands are in his head, gripping the side of his head.
I'm good. I'm good.
You are such a liar.
I'm so good. ready to rock and roll.
Are you? Do you want to get back to your video game?
I do, but no.
You guys, Ben doesn't have social media, so he's not really ever on his phone. And I'm not ever worried about like anything weird, crazy happening, but I've noticed that the last week or so, mostly just the last few days, Ben's been on his phone a lot. And then when he's on his phone, I will say things to him and get nothing. To the point where I thought at one point you had your earbuds in.
I do this. I do this a lot. I will get into something, a game or something, and I'll play it for 2 weeks.
Nonstop.
Nonstop.
It doesn't interfere nonstop on your free time. It's the very first thing that you do when,
I try to be very categorized with my time. But there are times in the day it is just, it's
in
chill
between
time.
X, Y, or Z. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will get a game and I will play. Like I got into chess and I just was playing chess on my phone for weeks on end. Not weeks, literally 2 weeks. And then I just get bored and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And then I probably won't even play another game for months even.
Yeah.
But I've been playing this shooting game on my phone and I'm in it and I'm just playing. And that's how I've been spending my free time. And when I'm in it,
he's hyper-focused.
I'm zoned in to the point I'm not quite paying
I literally
attention.
thought the other day you had your earbuds in.
No, I just am not paying attention.
Yeah.
I try to be good about just like, if I'm in something, I'm in it. Just leave me alone and let me focus on this. And sometimes that can be a good thing.
How does that work out, having a wife and children? I'm usually just focused on this right now. So if everyone could just leave me alone.
I'm usually not that way when I'm home, but every once in a while I get in on something and I'm zoned in. And now I'm like, I probably shouldn't be doing this with any of my time, but I'll probably keep it up for maybe another week.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to have downtime with nothing to do. That's when I sit down and watch TikTok and Instagram reels.
Yeah. And I've said before, I don't have Instagram. I'm not a social media person, but so I'll get in this. I'll go for about another week or two and then I'll be bored with it.
And then you guys will have enthusiastic Ben back.
I don't think.
Has anyone ever categorized you as enthusiastic?
I don't think that word has ever been used to describe me.
All right. Well, as we get into this episode, I do have a quick, silly story to share with our friends, just of life.
Okay. I'm ready.
Because I normally ask Ben, how was this week? And he doesn't really have a ton to report. Unless, did anything crazy happen to you that you want to share? No.
I got nothing.
So a couple days ago, I had tickets to a live podcast show. And it's a true crime podcast. And I've listened to these people for years. And they were up in Phoenix. And we live in Tucson. So I told Ben like maybe a month ago, hey, I'm going to go up there. I'm actually just going to get a hotel room because it's in Scottsdale. It's like 2.5 hour drive from our house to there. And the last thing I want to be doing at 11 o'clock at night is driving that much on the freeway. And honestly, I love you guys. I don't get super dressed up all the time, but when I like get out like in an outfit to go out and have some fun and be cute, I love that time. I like blast my 90s music and it's a whole thing. And so I was excited about this. So I got up there. First off, you guys, I left my driver's license at home. So I drove all the way.
This is a common thing.
Okay, well,
Sierra.
We don't need to tell every detail.
Where is your ID right now?
Okay, well, now, thanks to the incident, I have it on my phone.
Okay, but where is your physical ID?
I'm 90% sure it's in my wallet. Oh, no, it's not.
It's not. It's in my wallet.
It's in your wallet. We went out dancing. Okay, so yeah, first problem number one was I go to check in my hotel room, and I actually did this through the app. So normally you don't even have to talk to someone. But when I walked in, the girl was super kind, complimented something about my shoes or something, and I was talking to her, and she's like, let me just grab you a physical copy because you're on the 4th floor, and sometimes the app doesn't work, and then you have to come back down here anyways. Great. So she's like, I just need to see a copy of your driver's license. And so I open up my wallet, and it's nowhere to be found. And every email that I had gotten from the venue was saying, you have to have your ID for your tickets. I think this is to prevent like resales and crazy like that. The name on the ticket has to match your ID or you will not be admitted in. So I call Ben, who's holding the fort down, and we can cut this if this story is too long already. Anyways, Ben, bless his heart, is trying to get our daughter out the door for ballet while I'm on the phone almost in tears because I don't want to miss this. I just drove 3 hours to get up here. And I can't even go out and do anything. I can't go sit. I can't go out dancing. I can't do anything. I have no ID. I shouldn't even be driving. And so thankfully I was able to actually get it uploaded to my phone through trickery of like Ben FaceTiming me on my computer and me scanning
it.
My driver's license through the computer.
It was an hour-long process.
It was an hour-long process. And by then, like, I was exhausted.
Now you've wasted an hour of your free time.
Yeah. And I'd only gotten up there like 2 hours before the show. And so I'm like frantically getting ready. It's 118 degrees up in Phoenix that weekend or that day. I'm sweating. This is like not really, I'm not having fun at this point. Like I had a Alani caramel apple drink all like poured and ready to go. Like I was going to get my caffeine fix. And anyways, none of the stuff had taken place. I ended up even forgetting that I had my drink. So I had no caffeine in my system. I didn't even get a chance to eat. And most venues are like the doors open at this time. And if you show up late, you don't get in. And so I'm in a city that I don't know. I'm rushing. I'm in my own head. I go downstairs. I get dressed. I go downstairs. I walk out of the elevator and sitting in the lobby, literally staring me at the face, are the two hosts from the show.
Right there.
Right there.
Waiting for you.
No.
With your ID.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we went down to Tucson and got this for you. And they looked distressed. And I'm thinking, I'm running late and I'm a person watching the show.
And I'm running late to their show.
And they're not at their show. And so now all of this happens in my head in a second. And instead of acting like a normal human being and going up and introducing yourself or anything, I just blurt out across the lobby, hey, do you guys need a ride to the show? And dead stop, everyone in the hotel turns and looks at me. And you guys, this is what it's like to have ADHD, is that sometimes things just fall out of your mouth and your internal monologue that you got there, you forget to fill everybody else in where you're at. And they both look at me and that one of them, I think it might've been Ellen, said, excuse me? Because here's the thing, in the world of podcasting, a lot of people know who you are, but a lot of people don't. And we're just at a Hilton in Scottsdale. And I'm like, I literally at that point like paused and I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I like walk over to like put my hand out to like shake their hand. And I was like, I assumed something.
I'm going to your show.
I'm going to your show. And she says to me, oh my gosh, we actually like Harris, their like producer, had to get there earlier than they did. And multiple Ubers canceled on her. And I had actually had planned on taking one of those driverless cars over there, but I couldn't get one. Like we were in a weird place. Anyways, long story short, a true crime podcast host, invited two other true crime podcast hosts, were strangers with each other. One is a male, one is a female. They're best friends. I'm a female by myself. Asked these people to get into my van. Stranger danger. And I shall take them to their location. Anyways.
It all worked out.
And then I spent the rest of the show feeling like embarrassed and like replaying in my head, like, are you mad at me? Does everyone hate me? Like, what's going on? I can't believe I even text Ben in the show and I'm like, I'm so stressed out. Da, 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 da. But overall, it was a great time.
And I said, just have a good time.
That is just a snapshot into my life, you guys. Sorry, that went on for way too long. But every once in a while, I get a moment where I'm like, I want to share this with my podcast friends. So
it's a good story.
All right. We are diving back into Amy Bradley. I think that we can get through episode 2 and 3 today. Ben is also hoping the same thing because he misses Unsolved Mysteries. Let's be honest.
No, but yes, I don't want to talk about this one case for another. We're getting through this in this episode.
No matter what,
I could get through it in about 10 minutes.
Okay, well,
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, great. All right. Well, why don't you take it away then?
That's right. I start this time, don't I? All right.
I love that I tried to like hand you the ball. And this is last episode. If you guys have listened to it, there were several times that seamlessly I just kind of stopped talking as much and Ben took over and it was this organic flow. And then Ben goes, oh, that's right. I'm supposed to talk now. And I'm like, those are the notes in the show that don't need to be passed on. When I said, Ben, want to take it away, you could have just started, but instead it's.
Oh, that's right. I'm starting. I am good with that. That's just how my life goes. Life for me is blunt. You just say it. Do this. Let's get this done. Okay. Your responsibility. I need someone to just be blunt with me. And so I, in return.
And blunt with people.
And blunt with everybody.
Okay.
All right. Episode 2. We ended episode 1 on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
This guy comes in and says, I saw her.
Yeah, she's alive.
She's alive.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to figure out?
The caveat to that? Yeah.
We're introduced to David Carmichael. He says in
1998.
August of 1998. He was in Curacao.
And this is about 6 months.
So 6 months. The cruise was in March. He's in Curacao. He's in this little part of the island called Porta Maria. And it's really only known by the locals. And
it's my favorite thing to find on vacation is where the locals go.
He said the beach is pretty much empty. And he's hanging out there. And he sees 3 people walking up on the beach.
Yeah, he just finished a dive. He's cleaning off his equipment.
Yeah. And he sees 2 guys and a girl. And he notices the girl. And he went to go talk to her.
She walked up to him.
She walked up to him. He goes to talk to her. And this one guy, steps in front of him and just stares at him.
Yeah, kind of just, way. Yeah, this weird interaction.
It was very weird. It was very uncomfortable. Said if he hadn't stared at him, he probably wouldn't even remember him. But
yeah,
he did.
Something about this interaction, yeah.
And this girl was a white girl who had, according to him, a Tasmanian devil tattoo on her arm. And
The
that's
grip
important.
of the 90s.
That's important because Amy Bradley had a Tasmanian devil tattoo.
Yeah. There was something in the 90s with people getting
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tune characters tattooed.
You know, but look through everything. Tattoos is
A fad or not
it's
a
a
fad.
phase.
It's a trend, right? Yeah, whatever's trending.
Certain tattoos are phases. Remember the Chinese symbol on the back? That was a
so close.
thing.
That
the barbed wire around the arm.
You guys, I almost got that stupid Chinese signal tattooed. Butterfly in the back.
Yeah. Butterfly on the butterfly on the foot. Right.
Stars on the foot.
Something. Yeah.
Something. But there was a trend for a while that there was a lot of Looney Tunes.
I didn't know that Looney Tunes was a trend of
Tweety.
But at this time,
Tweety
I was
duck,
a young teenager.
Tweety the bird. Tweety. Is it Tweety?
Tweety the bird. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those. But yeah,
Sierra.
I cannot stand the Tasmanian devil. By the way.
Well, not just that. You just want to hear something crazy about Sierra? She doesn't like Looney Tunes. She doesn't like it at all.
They're just obnoxious.
I love Looney Tunes.
I know you do. I've never found them
funny. It's a huge riff in our marriage. And if we continue to talk about it, it could end the marriage. This could be the caveat that ends 18 years of marriage right here. Looney Tunes. I'm getting a Tasmanian devil tattoo.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If you
and Bugs Bunny
did
on
that,
the other
fine,
arm.
then I'm getting a tramp stamp.
You can't say that.
Okay, I'm getting a butterfly tattooed on my back with Chinese symbols floating out of its butterfly wings.
I'm here for it. I support that. I just want you to know I support you.
Oh my goodness. Continue with your story, my love.
Okay. I digress. Anyways, that is a very distinct tattoo. He notices it on this girl. So he says, listen. And then when he sees the picture of Yellow, the bass player, he says, that was the guy that stared me down. End of story. That's all we get from that story.
Yeah.
So he thinks she's still alive on the island. Okay. Now we go back.
We're going to rewind.
The Bradley family comes home. They pretty much set up a command center at their house. The parents and the family are doing everything they can. They are calling embassies, every law enforcement agency that they can. They're doing everything they can.
Everything that was within their control because so many people had ignored them that had power to do something. The things they did have power of, they did and did them endlessly. Yeah.
So the dad and the brother on April 17th, 1998, they go back to Curacao and they hold a press conference and they're just asking for information. There's an award of $260,000. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially back then. So they get done doing this press conference. The dad comes out and he runs into a guy by the name of Deshi. He is a taxi driver. And he says, hey, your daughter's on the island. He tells of a story that he was out in his taxi one day, several weeks prior, and Amy had come up to his taxi, knocked on the window, said, hey, I need to use a phone. And he pointed to the payphone, and she went over and used it. And for some reason, he knows that they should go to a place called Coral Cliffs and Kadushi Cliffs. And that's where they should look for Amy. How he knows that, we don't know. Yeah. That's what he says. So the dad and the brother get together with the chief of police, who we talked about.
Yeah, so earlier. It sounds like they actually talked to the police about this tip.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can go to those places and look around, but you cannot go unaccompanied.
Yeah, so they talked to the chief and he's like, listen, you don't go to
There are
part
parts of
of
this
the
island that are
island.
beautiful and amazing, but there are parts of this island that are not safe.
He says they're run by
The mafia.
mafia type people there. So they go out there, they start driving around, and they're just looking for any types of clues.
Yeah, and he even says trafficking is real on this island and it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they don't come up with anything. There's nothing. So then America's Most Wanted featured her story on December 5th, 1998.
And that's where that guy saw the picture, right?
Yeah.
We're connecting how the guy that
comes
said,
back and says he saw it on the guy that told the story on the beach. He saw her story on America's Most Wanted. He calls, he gives that tip to the FBI.
Yeah.
And that. So, hold on.
So then the big question is now, did Amy walk off the ship? Or is it possible that she was smuggled off the ship?
Yeah, that's where we don't know. The FBI gets this tip. He swears it was her and that it was yellow. And, that's his story. So this is kind of what this episode is. It's a lot of theories.
Yeah.
I don't want to say theories, but it's a lot of people telling, hey, we think we saw this. This is what we're looking for. But again, FBI is going to run into some problems here because it's not like they can just show up on that island and start digging around and talking to people. So, all right. So then they kind of start telling us about Amy's life, that she was a lesbian and she had come out in college.
Yeah. And
her parents,
more recently to their parents.
It was hard for them. It was hard for her. So their question got brought up. Okay. Was this hard for her? Was it hard for her family? Did it create some rifts to the point where she might have committed suicide? So that's our next theory. Is this possible that she committed suicide? They don't think so because she had a lot going on. She graduated. She got in an apartment, which at that age, it's a big deal.
Huge.
She was about to get her own independence. She just gotten an English bulldog. Just gotten a dog. And she's talking to her friends about plans when she gets back.
Yeah, her friends are. This is going to be the fun new hangout place.
Not really the type of.
There's no perfect scenario of why and when, but
you have to look at all this stuff.
You do have to, yeah.
You have to look at all this stuff and say, does it lead us to this conclusion, right? And there's just not a lot there that would lead them to think that she committed suicide.
And it doesn't help jumped. That on the balcony, they did find her shoes like neatly tucked under a table that was also propped up against the railing. Like that.
Yeah. Her shoes were out there.
Yeah.
There was a table next to the balcony. Is it possible that she used that table?
The FBI has to ask that question.
Again, because we talked about it last, because they don't have any evidence, they have to look at everything. So was she trafficked? Did she walk off voluntarily, go to that taxi and then or did Yellow do something to sex traffic her off of it? And this guy saw her on the beach. Did she commit suicide? We don't know.
Yeah.
These are all the possibilities.
Yeah.
So now we get told the wildest story.
Yeah.
This is a wild story. We get a guy that comes up. His name is Bill Hellner. Did I say that right? Do you have his name?
I have his. Well, here's the thing. Maybe I have it. It's Hef though. Hefner.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was in the Navy for 20 years. Retired. He says in January of 1999. So a little less than a year since her disappearance.
Yeah.
He says they docked in Curacao.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he goes inward and he's just looking to get a drink.
Yeah. According to him, he's looking for a bar.
Yeah. Looking for a bar. Goes to this bar. There's a guy outside with a...
Oh, no. What does he first say about the bar? Well, I just found a random bar that had a hotel on top. So it seemed totally normal. First off, we don't know what the location of this place is. They don't give it to us. I highly doubt that that was some Motel 8 Curacao style. I think this very clearly is what we end up figuring out it is. I think he knew that 150% before he walked in there.
I would think that's probably safe. But
yeah.
He finds this bar with a hotel above. There's a guy outside with a gun in his waistband. He goes in. He orders a drink. As he does that, a guy and two girls come down the stairs. Okay.
And I have 2 men and 2 women come down the stairs. Both the men are armed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he knows. So now we've got potentially 3 guns in play. I also find it weird. He says in there, like, the moment he walks in, these 2 men kind of show up with these 2 women. We can see what is happening here, right? So he says, he grabs a drink. The 2 men freely leave the women at his table and walk off, but they stay in the bar.
Stay close by. We all know what is transpiring.
Yeah.
Here.
And he says there's a Hispanic woman and a white woman. The Hispanic woman leaves the table, it sounds like, to go get a drink from the bar. And the women, the other female leans over to him and says, "They're holding me against my will. My name is Amy Bradley." She tells him this story that she walked off the ship looking to find some drugs. Okay. And has been stuck with these men being held ever since. However, when the other woman comes back, she shuts down the conversation, right? I think she says something like she needs $200 or something like that. But once he says there's a huge shift in her tone and behavior, that once the other guy comes, or once the other female comes back, she instantly gets quiet, gets small, and stops talking and just kind of don't say anything. Bill then lets us know that he chooses to just leave quietly at that point because in his line of work, he has encountered many working women.
Yeah. He said he's heard every story.
Every story in the book.
Why? How are you hearing all these stories? Where are you going?
This guy. So I will say this. This guy, I hold men, especially men in the armed forces and in law enforcement, to a higher standard than I hold everyday men. I still hold men in general to high expectations. I do believe in honor and integrity and chivalrous behavior. So when I hear that this man, being in a position of power and having resources and access to those, hear this story, and it doesn't seem to affect him because he's chosen to participate in hiring prostitutes for his life, and this is a common occurrence to him. This guy, I don't know. I don't care for him. He's just obviously, I expect more from men. And he showed again that they let us down often. So he decides to leave quietly because, in his words, he doesn't want any trouble with the 2 guys or 3 guys that have guns. Years later, when he sees Amy's picture in the news, he then decides to report this. And he tells us that he after he left Curacao, didn't really even think of Amy ever again. Standard pro quo run-of-the-mill behavior. And then he sees this picture and it reminds him of this memory and decides to go to the FBI about it. And he says, listen, I didn't want, this was what I was doing was frowned upon. And I didn't want to get bumped down in my ranking. And I was only a few years away from retirement. And so that could have affected what my retirement looked like. So I chose to stay quiet. But I'm coming forward now because coming forward is the right thing to do.
Might have been the right thing right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah. My guy. That is, yeah. I don't put a lot of stock into polygraphs, especially men who have no honor and integrity. But he says he take a polygraph test and passed it. So, the FBI, again, they go to the island. They look around.
But it's years after the fact.
They can't confirm anything. So once again, we just have another story blowing around in the wind and nothing to tie it down to. Other than the fact that there has been now a handful of people reporting seeing Amy Bradley on these islands. I mean, and that bucket is getting heavier, right? If we look at theories as buckets and we're putting stuff in. So the question is, could Amy have been trafficked? I would like to point out, and this is just from the very little research that I've done on trafficking. I'm not an expert. I have no degree or education in any way, shape, or form of this. Typically, people that are pretty and get lots of attention and a lot of people notice them and they're with their families and they are not high. That's usually not who's trafficked because there's a lot of highlights on that. Which again, doesn't help this situation in any way, shape, or form because is it possible? Yeah, it is. But it's not usually who is trafficked. Human trafficking is an insane international problem. It's typically not the young, pretty girl with her whole family. But I don't know. You have what are your thoughts on?
I mean, anything's possible.
And that's what this documentary is like. This whole story is frustrating in that way, is that anything is possible. Yeah. So, but it was like Brad comes on, her brother, and says, listen, my sister had enjoyed partying. She had a good time, but she was not into drugs.
That is one thing
that part of his story is weird to me.
It is weird, and no one else. They all said friends, family.
No one knew her to be a drug user, let alone enough a drug user.
There was no history with that at all.
On top of that, to also then try to go get it on an island where she didn't know anyone.
Yeah. And just leave her family.
Yeah.
To do it. It is very out of character, especially it's not like that was day one. She'd been with her family. They've been doing everything together for multiple days to then just randomly decide to get off and go try to score drugs to the point where then she's now held captive.
Yeah. There's a part of me that wonders if he's remembering everything correctly or if she was just trying to tell this guy anything that she could that he might take some sympathy on her.
I don't know.
So
again, there's no way of knowing one way from the other.
Yeah. So we kind of there was some strange incidences on the cruise ship that maybe individually, or if this other thing hadn't happened, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But now, like Amy's mom is interviewed and she tells us, like, we have to now scrutinize every single second because this wasn't likely just some happenstance weird thing, unless she fell off, right? So they have to try to see if they missed anything along the way. So there's a few incidences on the cruise itself that, looking back, might have a little bit more of a sinister thing to them. Everyone noticed in her family that Amy was getting a lot of attention from the staff, to the point where at the formal night dinner, Amy leaves the table to go to the bathroom or something, and one of the staff members, I think it was a server, comes up to her table and asks directly, where is Amy, to the mom and dad. And they didn't really think anything of it, but they said that they wanted to take Amy off to go to a bar in Aruba somewhere. Now, I don't know if that meant that night or if that was the following day. I don't know. But they leave. Amy comes back. Amy's mother says, hey, some of the staff wants you to go with them to a bar in Aruba. And she was like, absolutely not. I'm not leaving the ship with people I don't know. Which then to me echoes the fact that why would she go looking for drugs?
Yeah.
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 So 2, that same night, Iva notices that there is a man just above them, like up on like an upper balcony or something, intently looking at them to the point where she says like they made eye contact a few times, and she kind of puts her hands up to him like, can I help you? Like, am I missing something? What's going on? And then she goes down to like pick up her purse or her bag or something, and then notices that he's not there anymore. Again, maybe on a normal day that this wouldn't really mean anything, but she's having to look through everything.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to think back on anything and everything that could lead to some type of clue.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happened that was really weird was, so on formal night, we've all seen these pictures. There's always a photographer there as you're waiting to go into your reservation time for dinner. And because everyone's all dressed up, they take a group photo of everyone dressed up. And so after dinner, they go into the gallery where the photos are hanging on the wall, and then you can purchase them. And they go in there, and it sounds like it might have just been like Amy, her mom, and her brother. I'm not sure where Ron was at this time. But the camera guy who also printed off the photos recognizes them and says, oh, yeah, you guys are right over here. I'm sure he's been looking at all these pictures. Come over here. He walks them over to this area, and he's like, that's weird. It's not on the wall anymore. Maybe I put it down. So he starts looking through other photos. He's looking behind pictures. He's looking in boxes. He cannot find these photos anywhere, but he knows he took them. He knows he printed them out, and he knows where he put them somewhere. And now they're missing.
Well, they say there's an empty spot on the wall.
There. And so, again, not really thinking anything of it, the mom says, well, can you grab a couple more photos? And this is where some of the iconic photos we see on this documentary are from. But if you notice, there's no family photos. There's not even any of the mom or the dad from that night. It's just Amy by herself and then Amy and her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they get those, and like that's all done. It's possible that these were all coincidences, but could they be signs that Amy was being targeted or followed in any way, shape, or form? So by 2001, a new FBI agent is now taking over. He's a special agent in charge, Michael Clark. And in the meantime, the Bradley house has become headquarters for the search. Calls are pouring in at all hours of the night because this is worldwide now. Emails start to roll in. Lots of helpful things, but we start to see what we see every time you see a family in grief.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I do not understand. And there's a special place in hell for these people. They get their rocks off by torturing people in their worst times.
I don't understand how these people exist and who they are.
Did you even realize that was a thing in the world of true crime before watching all these unsolved mysteries and stuff like that?
I didn't realize there were so many people out there that just like to torture families for no reason whatsoever. And we've seen it on multiple episodes of Unsolved Mysteries, and it makes me sick. Yeah, because the mom tells, like, they're getting phone calls. Your daughter's here. This happened to her. This happened. And
descriptions of torture happening to her. Everything. Yeah.
And here's the thing. As a family who knows nothing, and the fact of you guys literally haven't been able to
nail a single thing down,
eliminate anything. These nasty, terrible people are telling them things. And there's got to be a part of you that says, is this one true? Or is this one true?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a thread I need to pull on? And that is just...
It's torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
No. And she's at the same time, though, she's like, I have to comb through these and decide which ones to take serious. And I still have to question the ones I don't take serious. Did I miss something?
Exactly.
And so in 2005, a chilling email arrives with photos attached. They come from a website in the Caribbean and in Venezuela area with women to hire for prostitution. The FBI runs forensics analysis on these photos that are sent to the family. It's a photo of a female, and I think there's 2 of them that are sent, and she's in a provocative pose, obviously posing for adult entertainment work of some sort. But again, people change so
2005,
much.
that's 7 years.
7 years. And if this is Amy, it's been 7 hard years.
Yeah. Not easy.
Not easy. And so the FBI, obviously, this is a huge lead. I think Michael, special agent in charge, Clark, says this is the strongest lead they've had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they take these photos and they have the FBI forensically analyzes them. And the FBI says officially that they do believe that the woman in the photos is Amy Bradley. It's a very strong, they can't eliminate that it's not. Very strong possibility. They can't find any major discrepancies that it's not her.
Yeah, they talk about the different features, her chin line, her ears, her nose, all that stuff that they analyze, and it appears to be a match.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
It is 2005.
Mm-hmm.
The pictures
aren't the best quality.
So a little graininess can make your chin. It's hard to match.
But they were also comparing it with photos from that time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one more thing that they can't eliminate. I mean,
possible. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Also possible. It's just a female that looks a lot like her.
Mm-hmm.
But he's right. I mean, it's your best lead you've got, and it's worth trying to chase down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as of right now, you got to take every lead, and you got to.
And I will say, no one's ever come forward and said that was me.
Yeah.
I was, a sex worker on an island at that time, and
I think all the women there are
not there by choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Unfortunately, even if it's not her, which she probably has no way to speak and say, hey, that was actually me. Which just goes to show there's some terrible things in the world.
Yeah.
Just awful.
So this photo they decide to release to the public, smart, and try to figure out any information they can glean from it. So the Bradleys appear on the Dr. Phil show.
Which was huge at the time.
Good old Dr. Phil. Do you know the story of how Dr. Phil and Oprah met?
I don't.
Oh, that's a story for another day, but it's actually quite fascinating and actually has weirdly enough to do with true crime.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So Judy is the next talking head that is introduced, and she tells us a story of one, she's watching the Dr. Phil episode, a memory that surfaced.
Yeah, this is another wild story.
Yeah.
So she sees that episode of Dr. Phil and says, I recognize that girl.
Yeah, I know her.
Saw her. She says that she saw Amy, or the female in that photo, in Barbados in March of 2005. They said they were in Barbados. They're in like a Bridgetown bar shopping area. They're out shopping. She stops at this place. She has to use the restroom and goes into the restroom. And as she's in there, she hears men's voices come in. She hears people come in and men's voices.
Yeah, which when you're a female sitting in the bathroom and you hear men's voices.
Yeah, I bet that
especially when you're in a foreign country, you're going to stop for a second and pay attention real quick at what's happening.
And so she just hears one of the men say, the deal's at 11 o'clock. You better be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Then the men left. Then she says there's a girl at the sink. So she goes out and is washing her hands. She sees this girl. She looks like she's in distress.
Mm-hmm.
She asks her her name. And she says in a Southern accent that her name was Amy.
Mm-hmm.
She asks her, where are you from? And she said the girl was pretty quiet, kept her head down. She thought she heard her say West Virginia.
Yeah.
So she tries to make conversation like,
well, because Judy's daughter's named Amy also.
Yeah. And she has some type of ties to.
She's just trying to find good.
She's from the States.
Judy's from the South. So she's trying to be kind and friendly and make this girl feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think is almost trying to be like, you can talk to me. I have a daughter your age. Her name is Amy. Like, yeah.
So the lady then just like turns to Judy and faces off with her, backs her into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it got really weird.
But she doesn't really say anything to her.
No, she doesn't say anything to her. She goes to leave. Mm-hmm. And as she opens the door, there's a man standing there blocking the door.
I would be freaking out.
And
she says the best thing she could do was play ignorant tourist.
Yeah. So she did that and she got out of there.
Yeah.
Safely, thankfully. But so she sees this on Dr. Phil. What does she do? She instantly calls the FBI, says, hey, and tells her story. So again, one more story, one more lead.
The FBI tries. They go to this area. They talk to the shop owner. There's no video surveillance.
It's a long time after. So what do you do? There's no way to ID any of these people.
Yeah. It's just another haunting lead.
No idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's kind of where episode 2 leaves you.
We end with the episode in the fact of they sit down with the daughter.
They don't sit down with her yet. So I have in here, like, let's see. You hear a voicemail, the phone ringing, and then you hear a voicemail that says that it's from Yellow's daughter, Amika Douglas, the daughter of the ship's bass player.
So really, I mean, at the end of the day, episode 2 is a lot of supposed sightings and a lot of theories. Could she have? Mostly, the only 2 theories that really come up is, was she trafficked or did she commit suicide? And the FBI pretty much tells us we don't know.
Yeah, we have not been able to eliminate anything. I was like, they do say in there that, like, they make it clear that they don't think that she chose to take her own life. But again, that's just a gut feeling that the FBI has.
But they can't close that out.
Can't close it out. The top of episode 3, which is called Message in a Bottle, we open with Amy's mom. And she's walking us up the attic stairs to the family home. And you want to have a good cry, you can turn on the top of this episode and watch it because it's heartbreaking. She's kept all of Amy's things, but more specifically, she's kept Amy's bags from the trip. They're still packed. And she's pulling them out. And no joke, you guys, she's pulling these bags out and pulling things out of them she's like full on ugly sobbing. She can barely keep it to like, and the producer asked her like, how long since you looked at this? And she's like, I haven't been up here and looked through these things in 20 years. Yeah. And like the mom's like crying, like she was supposed to come home. She was supposed to unpack these things. This was her stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is absolutely heartbreaking to watch. And then Amy's brother, Brad, kind of shares some personal stuff about how much this has deeply affected their life. Like, he's like, our lives have been divided into the before and the after. Like what life was then and what it is now. And there is a stark line in the sand on that. He says everything stopped. Essentially, his life and his parents' life stopped the day Amy went missing. And in many ways, it's just never started again. Brad even admits to us that he has like never had children. And even at age 48, he can't bring himself to like having children because of the risk of ever having to experience what his parents have gone through. Like, this has had generational effects. And this episode reminds us that inside every unsolved case, there is a hard truth. Somebody saw something, somebody heard something, or somebody knows something, and they're choosing not to say or do anything about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with him. I think you just gotta hope that someone does know something and that they're willing and to come forward. But unfortunately now, the longer it goes, when people come forward and they say things, because here's the thing, all these people that told us stories, they truly are trying to come forward and say, listen, this is what we saw, this is what we think. But then at the end of the day, there's no way to, verify that.
Yeah.
And I do think these people they're trying to do the right thing by saying, listen, I think we saw this and this is what I saw.
Yeah.
And I think this is what happened.
Yeah. So fast forward to April 17th, 19 years after Amy's disappearance, we hear the voicemail that ended episode 2. And I wrote it down. Hi, my name is Amika Douglas. I'm the daughter of Alistair Douglas. I'm not really good at this, but I would really, really love to talk to you. I know what you guys are going through. And if it was me in this situation, I would want information about, why my daughter isn't here right now. And then we get to sit down with her. And we meet Amika Douglas. And she explains to us that while she and her father were close in a lot of ways, his top priority was always his music and his life on a cruise ship. He spent much of his time away performing, and Amika was still a toddler when her parents divorced. But as she grew older, her mother eventually told her about her father being connected to this case. That when she was old enough to understand it, that if you go looking for your dad online, you're going to see this information that he's been linked to. In fact, Amika wasn't even born when Amy disappeared. This was pre that. But her mother remembers on one particular cruise when Yellow had come home, he seemed to be a different person. We don't interview. We don't hear from her. We hear this is, I guess, what you would call hearsay.
Yeah.
Right. Is that so? This is being shared from the daughter, but according to her mother said that his personality had changed. It was just something different. Amika's mother described one moment where, again, we don't get any context to this. She says something very eerie, that he disrespected her and frightened her while she was pregnant. And I don't know what that means because
I don't know.
But to me, it came across of, and this is just my opinion from what I watched. It seems like maybe there had been a physical altercation of some sort. So she also then recalled him returning with a large bag, and she didn't recognize it. So she opened it up and inside found photographs of a lot of women. And first off, this is her husband, so I cannot imagine finding this bag. But this is also a woman from the islands, a woman of color. And the big thing that she notes is every single female in this bag of photographs is that they're all white women. So this this is just red flags according to the mother, from Amika's point of view.
Yeah.
Amika, though, has been oddly very open with her father about her personal thoughts on this Amy Bradley case with him. She has made it very clear that she even has questions about it, but says that it always feels strange and incomplete when she presses him to talk about it, and it usually just ends in him getting upset. Then Amika calls her dad directly while being recorded. How did you feel about this?
I don't know. I don't think it didn't bring anything.
It didn't bring anything either. To me, it felt a little sensationalized. I felt bad.
I guess it was presented as a bombshell.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't.
It really wasn't.
It really wasn't.
Mm-mm. No. He basically repeats the same story. He danced with Amy. He's been open to questions. He left around 1 a.m., never saw her again. And then just kind of abruptly hangs up on her.
I mean, he says he's been questioned several times about this, all that.
And look, if he had nothing to do with it, this man's life's been ruined.
And he says on the call he had nothing to do with her disappearance. No, I mean, obviously, that's just what he says.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But at the end
there's a lot of people
day,
in jail right now claiming they had nothing to do with whatever they are in there for.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's... What I'm saying is if he really did have nothing to do with it. Okay? I mean, play devil's advocate here. I'm not siding one way or the other, but at all here. I'm just saying. He's now spent 20-something years under the microscope, and everyone kind of assumes, and let's just say he's telling the truth, and all he did was just dance with her and flirt with her that night, and then he had nothing to do with her disappearance. I would imagine that getting questioned about it over and over, especially from your own kid, that your kid not believing you, that would be frustrating.
Yeah.
And it could cause some tension.
I agree. Yeah.
Or he did have something to do with it, and that's
he doesn't want people talking about it.
I mean, it could go either way.
Again,
but,
this is why this documentary is so frustrating because not even just
but the call doesn't add anything.
It doesn't add anything, but I'm like, once again, here we are thinking 1 step forward, 3 steps back, kind of, maybe possible, right? It doesn't give anything. It doesn't take anything away. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah, because it's nothing directly implies Yellow, but also there's nothing to clear him. The FBI reminds us once again that if they had any evidence, he'd be under arrest.
He still is, according to the FBI,
a person of interest. A suspect.
Yeah, a suspect.
There is still the troubling detail that 2 witnesses claimed to have saw Amy and Yellow together heading to the disco. Once it was closed, the only thing we have is that Yellow did return to his room at 3:35 a.m. That was timestamp, but there's no timestamp going out. Did he return to his room for 10 minutes, or was he there for the whole night? We don't know, and there's no evidence of any way.
And I do think that I could be wrong. The FBI agent says that his timestamp it does kind of throw some wrenches into the story being told. And that's why they're uncertain about all the time frames because of the timestamps of the girls that told the story that they saw him, their timestamp going back to the rooms, and it leaves a lot of unanswered things for them to be able to verify and really solidify the story.
Yeah.
She's not saying that the story, she's just saying
they need one more piece of evidence to let them know which direction to go.
Yeah.
But everyone is stuck.
But if he was back in his room at 3:35 and she was back in her room at 3:40,
then he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. But again, then it's like,
but again, we don't know when they left
again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did he go in his room and drop something off?
And then leave?
We don't know. Did they make plans to meet up later? We don't know.
No idea.
Nobody knows. So
we're saying this a lot. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So complicating matters even more is that the FBI has no jurisdiction. He lives outside the United States. They cannot walk into another country and question a citizen of that country without expressed permission. And they have no grounds to ask for that permission on. So this episode definitely zooms out to a larger issue that we talked about before. When you were on a cruise ship, you don't know the vetting processes for the crew member. Many are hired outside of the United States where labor laws and background checks are very different. And I think someone brought up a good point on this document. They said, when you're at sea, 12 miles off the coast, anywhere, you're essentially floating in a country of its own where the captain, not any law enforcement, has the ultimate authority on the ship.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his experience is on that. And because the cruise industry is a multi-billion-dollar business, transparency about crime statistics would cut into their bottom line. So money almost always wins over accountability. And that is the facts of why a lot of this information is the way it is. After all these years, the Bradley family still sits with a painful pile of evidence that ultimately leads them nowhere.
With nothing but questions.
Mm-hmm. Until that one person who knows something or one person that has a piece of evidence finally speaks, the case will remain, for lack of a better term, dead in the water.
All right. This is where we usually say update, but this pretty much is the update because this documentary was literally just done and giving you everything up to date to this point.
Yeah.
So it is still technically unsolved.
So we do see some updated age progressed photos that the FBI themselves have done. They put out. The FBI is continuing to renew their call for public information. I will say we do get this one weird story. I think this is actually really genius. Did you get the guy, Anthony Willis from Sydney, Australia? His website?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he puts together a website where all information about the case can be put there.
In one central spot. And then he actually ends up talking and meeting up with David, the guy
that said he saw her on the beach with Yellow.
Yeah. So they end up communicating with each other, and his background is in telecommunications. And I know a ton about telecommunications, but there's no time for that in this episode for me to expertly inform you on what it is. So we're just going to move forward. But they come up with this idea that they should track IP addresses to the people that are coming to their website. So this allows us to see where interest in Amy's case was coming from. And to their surprise, a large number of visits were coming from the Barbados area, where that woman had reported seeing Amy in a bathroom.
Well, and wasn't it like on her birthday or anniversary?
So even more chilling.
Some type of specific time.
Yeah. Even more chilling was that sometimes the visitor would visit the pages on holidays.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Holidays. And it would 12 to 17 times a day, spending an average of 45 minutes per visit on those pages. So 12 times 45, like that's a lot of the day.
A lot of time.
Yeah. So the last kind of question we get, could this be Amy herself? Is she getting on this website to see updates of her family? The possibility of Stockholm Syndrome is raised. The FBI acknowledges that if Amy were trafficked, she might feel that she is unable to reach out. They tell us that they interview many, many victims, and they are often threatened that their families or loved ones will be harmed if they escape or if they leave. And if she's potentially been forced into human trafficking, there's always a risk as a female that she has produced children.
Yeah, and then we get that Judy lady that comes back. And she says that in the bathroom, she did hear something of the girl ask them, well, can we stop and see the kids before we go? And
they kind of say, like, if you behave yourself, then yes.
Something like that. So, because the question gets asked, well, if she has access to a computer and that, then why isn't she reaching out? And they say, well, is it possible that she has kids and these kids are being threatened if she does try to
what do you do?
Reach out?
Yeah.
Again, another possibility. But with nothing to close the door on that.
So this episode ends with the familiar or the family, just being heartbroken. Loved ones remember Amy, holding on to faith and hope. The case that was just so full of loose ends. There are so many leads and zero resolutions. And so if you happen to know anything about the disappearance of Amy Bradley, please contact your local FBI office. Or if you're international, you can go to any American embassy or consulate. A reward of $25,000 is available for leading to information to Amy's recovery. You can submit tips via the FBI's website. They have an electronic tip form you can fill out. You can email amybradleyismissing@gmail.com, or you can call 804-789-4269, and all tips can remain anonymous. And that's it.
Just don't be a horrible person and call in false stuff.
Don't be garbage. Don't be terrible. Human garbage, people. It's really not that hard to just not be a bad person.
Yeah, it was really sad this last episode to see. You can definitely see that these parents have been through so much.
So much.
And they're still, they interview friends. Like they interviewed that one girl who said that she talked to her brother literally last month. And the brother says something, well, when Amy comes home, this family is still holding out hope, which I can't imagine holding onto that hope with no good things coming. So it's admirable that they're still holding on to that much hope.
Yeah.
And hopefully that hope does flourish into something good coming forth for them.
Yeah, I really hope so too. So now, having watched this documentary and talked about it, do you have any thoughts that I think that this is, so I guess I'm going to Occam's razor is kind of the foundational rule that the most likely thing is what happened, or then that would be that she fell overboard.
Yeah, it would be.
Or somehow she ended up over into the ocean. That is Occam's razor's sort of thing. Do you feel like you could pick one lane and think, this is the one I think that's worth to investigate the most?
It's really,
I know it's tough.
Really tough. I mean, obviously, having zero emotional connection to it because I'm not a family member. Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe that's just the easy way to just say, yeah, I think this is what happened. I think.
Well, Occam's razor is not like 100% guaranteed, but it's like, when you're an investigator or anything, it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Do you think, though, if you were in the camp of you're now in charge of what direction we're going to go, would you go that theory or would you pick one of the other ones?
No, I think as an investigator, I'm actually really impressed that they've picked a 0 because you can't.
No, I'm just asking you personally.
Like which one I wouldn't go either way. I would leave everything open. You have to, unfortunately, because there is 0 evidence.
So what do you think happened, Amy? This is just us talking candidly, like what, after all of this that we've seen, and I'm sure that there is maybe a few things that the FBI hasn't released, but again, I don't think there's a lot that they've kept back because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But I lock you in a room and you cannot leave until you tell me what theory you think what happened to Amy Bradley. Which one are you going to go with?
With throwing a guess.
Yeah.
With 0 evidence behind it. I would say some type of accident happened and she fell overboard. And that could lead to multiple things. An accident, literally, on her own. And that was why I said, like, there is a lot of people that are saying, someone knows something, someone. If it was the middle of the night and something crazy did just happen and she fell overboard, then yes, there is no one out there that knows anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's also a possibility that someone did something terrible to her and then threw her overboard too. That is very possible. So yeah. And I understand that they think something might have washed up. That chief of police says something would have. But also, he literally says 20 minutes later that there are parts of the island that are run by the mafia that even the police don't really have a foothold in.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
What if she washed up there? Or it is the ocean. What if the tides did do something weird and it took her out? Yeah. All possibilities. Who knows?
No, I mean, there's no wrong answer. I don't think you're wrong in thinking that, unlock that door to get you out of this room. You have to pick a theory, and that's what you're.
But I say that only because, like you said, Occam's razor, like it's
you're the most likely
taking it as a math problem and the probability, that's the highest one. You're on a boat and you disappear.
Yeah.
In the ocean. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I will 100% possible someone terrible did something. And they did. They smuggled her off. And she's that. Because I've said this now 1,000 times. Every possibility is open. And it is gut-wrenching that you can't close any door.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that it would be terrible if that is what happened to her, her falling off, because the family
will never know.
Will never know. There's no evidence.
Unless there's a way to eliminate every other thing with evidence, then. And that's the last one.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
So many years, you're like, well, she could have been here. She could have been here.
Yeah.
And if she did fall overboard and was taken out or whatever, or even if something did wash up, if no one said anything, it's been so long, it's all gone. There's no way of knowing. And that just is terrible. All right. What about you?
I think I believe she got off the ship. So this is my thoughts, having listened to this. Amy was getting a lot of attention and making friends with people in the staff. I have no clue because I don't know anything about left, right, or center. If when they dock, there's a lot of preparation of like getting the gangway up and blah, 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 blah. But again, I don't know if the staff is held to that same restrictions. If they are expected, if they have a smaller gangplank and they can get off before everyone, whatever. So this is just me throwing out a possibility. Is it possible that Amy went back up? She took her cigarettes with her and she went up to the smoking area of the deck. It was the 90s. I'm going to assume that a handful of the staff smoked. And they were either wrapping up their shift or getting ready to start their shift. That she struck up a conversation with somebody. And either she had been being watched or not. And she trusted these people because she'd been friendly with them. They'd given her a lot of attention. She enjoyed being around them. And they offered her, hey, I'm actually going on the island early. There's a staff exit or back door, whatever. I don't know. And she maybe walked off the boat willingly, thinking nothing other than the fact that she was going to get on the island a little earlier. I don't know. And that somehow she got herself into a situation that ended up with her being stuck. Or she was trafficked off the boat. Whether she was coerced or forced, I don't know. I can't get over those FBI photos or the photos from that website and how much they look like her. Like, to me, that is as close to evidence as you're going to get.
And absolutely.
And so where she's at now, I couldn't tell you. My thought is that almost like the more there's a spotlight on this, she's a risk to have. It would be a lot easier just to replace her with another working girl and eliminate the spotlight.
I don't know.
So, I believe in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it was like there was a whole staff corruption, cruise people trying to take in, Liam Nielsen style this. But coerced or unknowingly walking into dangers that she wasn't aware of at the time, got herself in and around a group of people who took advantage of the situation that she could be turned into a commodity. So I believe she was trafficked.
I will say this, though. Just the thought, like, again, I'll say it again, that now seeing this, you start thinking of threats and, scary situations. A cruise that goes from island to island to different country to different country. If you were an organization looking to traffic people, then you would send several people onto that ship to target and then take them off. Take them when it would.
And just like you point out, those mafia people had access to their own shorelines.
Yes. So
they could hold their whatever asset they're holding, they can hold for a short amount of time, and then it's jetted off somewhere else.
And that is a very scary, scary thought that, like the movie Taken, I understand it's just a movie, but that is a real thing.
That puts spotlight on human trafficking.
Where they put they do put spotters at certain places with tourists in that. And a cruise ship would be
a great place to do it.
To put a spotter. Yeah. And you don't think about that until you hear these horrible stories. So I don't know. It was a terrible story.
Yeah. It was. And people will take money to do terrible things to people. There was actually I was reading that in Nashville, Tennessee, that there was a handful of bartenders who got caught getting paid to spike drinks of tourists. And they were spiking their drinks so that they could get robbed. They weren't stealing the people, but they were. But they were the spotters. They were the spotters, and then they could spike a drink, and then that person is tagged or flagged. So then this group of individuals can come in and strip them of their cash and their credit cards and their ID and yada, 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 and move on to the next target. And the bartenders who we would all trust, like we're trusting you to make our drink for us. And in Nashville, you're paying $25 for wit. And to find out that it's the bartender that's roofing people is messed up.
It's terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we lighten it up a little bit with a question?
Please do.
All right. First off, thank you once again for everyone who has tuned in to us. Real quick, please find us on social media. It's a super easy way to support us. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. Facebook, you can look up Unsolved Couple Podcast Discussion Group. We got all kinds of stuff going on in all of those different channels. And then if you please follow, rate, review. It goes so far. We also have 2 ways you can support the show as we're trying to grow. There's links below to buy me a coffee, and then another link that supports the show through our podcast. So yeah, share us with a friend. I mean, literally, I heard a story on a podcast the other day that like one lady recommended this podcast to her daughter, and then her daughter shared it like with all of her like friends on some travel thing. And then they ended up like, it ended up like blowing up in this little teeny tiny area of the world that just from one person sharing it. So it means a lot. All right, Ben, you're still in that locked room. And the only way you can get out is you have to pick for the rest of your life whether you will only have a dog or a cat. What do you pick?
Ooh, that's tough.
It is tough.
I don't like this.
Tell us your inner monologue. What?
Well, here's the thing. I grew up with dogs my whole life.
Yep.
And I love dogs. And I will say this. It's only been the last few years I've really taken to cats. I like them. A lot, actually.
I know. You guys, you want to talk about marriage goals? Anyone who is a cat person who falls in love with someone who at the very beginning of their relationship is like absolutely not a cat person.
I was not a cat person.
When your cat dies, we are not replacing it. Like, no, I am not a cat person. To then understand, to get them not to just like accept cats or tolerate them, but to actually have decided that they love cats. You guys, if that is the biggest thing that I've done to the earth for the earth, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. They're adorable. They're great. But you got them to get them to like you. They're very sentimental, And
Ben said to me the other day, because we all, both Ben and I really want a Maine Coon. We want a humongo, fat, lazy cat. And Ben said to me just yesterday, I think, when we get that Maine Coon, I will make him fall in love with me. I'm convinced that Ben is going to tell me I can go on some like amazing week-long girls trip, and he's going to be like, oh, I got you, babe. I love you. Have a great time. Da-da-da-da. And in that time, he is going to go get a kitten, and he's going to make it bond with him without the interference of me around. Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, I do think I would probably end up picking a dog. And not because I like dogs over cats, but because you don't actually have to work as hard for a dog. You just don't. They're just are more willing to love and snuggle and cuddle and, just be right there with you. Here's the thing. I do love dogs. I've always loved dogs. They're great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it'd be hard. It honestly wouldn't matter. Give me either one. I'd be fine. But if I had to pick one.
You have to pick one to get yourself out of this room.
I'd probably pick a dog.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I already know your answer. Sarah 100% would pick a cat.
Oh, yeah. Any day of the week. Cat. Give me 20 cats. I don't care.
Yeah,
but
that's too much.
That's not too much. No, cat for sure. They are They have an attitude. They don't need me around, but they want me around sometimes. And they're snuggly and affectionate and hilarious. They just have these personalities, but they also are the biggest snots in the world. And they're so much easier to take care of.
Yeah.
They
are. 100%.
They are, yeah. Maybe you have to work a little bit harder, but then they also expect far less from you. So
I'm all about less work, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess dogs are more in the cleaning up and all that, but.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Because to me, if you got a cat, you can still go on vacation. If you got an automatic feeder, now they even have robot litter boxes. Like, great. Yeah. And your cat's going to barely notice that you're gone.
Probably.
Yeah. Until you get home, and then they will let you know that they are annoyed that you left, even though they didn't really notice you were gone. Yeah. No, I am a cat person. I love all of the cats, and that's, So, all right, guys, that is our episode. Thanks for hanging out with us. Once again, next week, we will be back to our regular schedule where Ben and I recap one of your original gateways into true crime.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Bye.